Hey, what's going on, YouTube? Rylan here in the garage gym, and today we're going to continue with our J-Cup series, and we'll be talking about the Titan roller J-Cups. So stay tuned. We'll do a quick one on these guys. I'll tell you what I like about them, what I don't like about them, and we'll go over all the details in a little bit. All right, see ya. Okay, welcome back. And today we're talking about these J-Cups right here. There's one mounted on the rack, and these guys have the infamous roller. So these cost, we'll talk about cost first, because the most appealing thing about some of the Titan products is cost, without a doubt. These retail for $119, including shipping. So really, really, really good cost for a roller set of J-Cups. And for $119, they work. They have a couple little quirks, but they work really well. If you can afford something better, the only thing better that I would suggest would be something like Irwin Fitness, or maybe even into something like the Go Series J-Cups. Now, how much are the Irwin ones versus these? Irwin is going to cost you $300 shipped to your door, roughly. That's using my discount code, MAC5 for 5% off, etc., etc. But for these, you're $119 plus tax, and we'll talk about what that little red thing is on the front of them in a little bit. But so $119 plus tax, really not that bad. And they're a great entry-level J-Cup. They work quite well, actually, surprisingly. They're very basic in how they're made. They've got some reinforcement gussets along the bottom. They've got a very simple bolt slide-through pin system with a plastic roller. And you'll find UHMW on the back and the sides where it attaches to your rack. So these also come in different models. If you have a 5/8 rack, they will also feature a Titan series for that. This is called the Titan series, which means it's a 3x3 by 1 inch rack, and they have some other models to fit yours at actually a little bit cheaper price too. So let's talk about what the red part is on the front. So one thing that is an issue with a lot of J-Cups is when you re-rack the bar, you can hit the front of the J-Cup right about here. And that's happened to me. So I ended up buying a set of these front protector plastics here from Aperture Engineering. And those just bolt on. You can see they just use the existing UHMW and snap in place, and they fit quite nice. I highly recommend those if you do end up buying a set of these Titan roller J-Cups. Definitely add the front protectors, because the first time you nick your bar on there or something like that, it's going to take the Cerakote off, and these are going to pay for themselves the first time you scratch your bar on the metal front of it there. So, and now, how do they work? They work really well. And one thing that I have noticed is the UHMW on these does wear quite fast. You can see a lot of the wear in there already. One thing that's a little bit you got to watch out for is the depth of the screw heads to the UHMW is very thin. So if you wear through that, you're going to be scarring your bar on those screws in no time. So just watch that. That might be something that might come up. The roller itself, it works. It's not as smooth as the Irwins, of course. At the price, it's not going to be. And if you load it up with a lot of weight, you go over 400 pounds. I do notice the roller is a little bit harder to move, but it does work. And at the end of the day, that's what counts. Does it work or not? And it does. So that is what I'll say about that. My only gripe in terms of the function on these is they utilize a tensioner bolt on the back, and that just threads into there like that. Now, I had kind of a defect with these ones, and I'll just kind of show you, but where that threads in, at least on this set, it's at a really weird angle, and it was just on the one side. It was just on the right side it doesn't thread square. I talked to Titan about it, and they'd help me out. We've got a replacement here, and it was exactly the same. So it must be a manufacturing issue where they just weren't drilling those threads perfectly straight. The left one on this side was perfectly straight, no issues. I talked to a few people about it. They had the same issue that I had. So it's not a deal breaker. It still works. You just have to be really careful to not thread that in. And that might be a better way to see it, but it's definitely at an angle. You just have to be careful you don't cross thread that. So if you try to go in straight, you're going to cross thread it. Now, this is also the other gripe that I don't like about it, is it works great for pulling the play out of the J-cups, but to me, play in J-cups is really not a huge deal. What's a pain is having to unthread this every single time you want to move your J-cup. You have to take the time to thread it, unthread it. So here's this one here, I'll show you. Got to unthread. Okay, now we can take it off. Move it where you want it, put it on. Now, there's quite a bit of play in those, and that's just how they're built. But when you thread that tensioner in, it'll take all that play out. And so it does work quite well. Okay, that's tight, and all that play is gone. These Titan J-cups are rated for 1,000 pounds. They weigh around 9 pounds. And I'll show you one more thing. In case you didn't see the Irwin Fitness review, let me grab one of these. Here's a comparison of size. So here's a comparison of the size. And yeah, there's an enormous difference in size between these two here. So that's just something to think about. What are you paying for when you're spending $300 more, or $300 total on the Irwins? You're definitely getting a lot more. To conclude on these Titan Roller J-cups, I recommend them for the price. And again, I don't think you can find anything close to that for 119 bucks shipped. They work. Before I got my Irwin J-cups, I used these quite a bit. I really like them for squats. Just having the ability to center the bar is big. I think it's underrated, and it's a really nice feature to have. So if you're looking at getting into a roller J-cup, these are great. You won't be disappointed. They do work really well. Like I said, other than the couple things that we talked about that are kind of issues, they're not really issues, but just stuff that kind of could have been better. Yeah, I highly recommend them. And I'll put a link to Titan in the description box. I appreciate everyone following the channel, subscribers, and if you haven't seen our Instagram page, check that out. So again, thanks for watching and have a good day.